You've seen the standing ovations and the golden confetti, but behind the velvet curtains of 2026, a silent crisis is unfolding that the cameras were never meant to capture. Tonight, we are peeling back the layers of the Blue story, a narrative that has shifted from a Cinderella tale of street busking to a harrowing medical standoff. While the world celebrates his vocal range, the private reality involving his inner circle is beginning to leak, and it's a far cry from the glitz of the stage. We've tracked the timeline of his recent disappearances from the public eye, discovering that the golden boy of the talent circuit is currently navigating a storm that no amount of fame could have prepared him for. This isn't just about a singer losing his voice. It's about a man losing his anchor in the middle of a global spotlight. The whispers coming out of his camp suggest a heartbreaking ultimatum delivered by specialists that could change his career trajectory forever. The man who pulled from the brink of homelessness is now the one fighting for every breath, and the medical verdict is nothing short of devastating. For years, credited his grandfather, Jourdan, as the sole reason he didn't vanish into the New Orleans underworld. But new reports confirm that Jourdan is facing a stage 4 health battle. This diagnosis didn't come at a quiet time. It hit exactly as contract negotiations reached a fever pitch. Insiders reveal that he has been spending his nights in hospital waiting rooms rather than recording studios, pouring his AGT earnings into specialized treatments that insurance simply won't cover. The emotional toll is visible to anyone paying close attention to his recent social media footprints. It's a classic tragedy of timing, achieving the dream of a lifetime, only to have the person you did it all for unable to witness the finish line. The stakes have shifted from winning awards to simply winning more time with his hero. What the producers called nerves during the quarterfinals was actually a terrifying medical emergency that nearly ended the show right then and there. Our investigation into the behind-the-scenes logs reveals that was suffering from a severe internal ailment, linked to extreme exhaustion and a systemic infection during his most famous performance. Despite being physically unable to stand minutes before the live feed, he refused to use a pre-recorded rehearsal track, a move that many insiders called heroic, but doctors labeled as reckless. He was essentially performing while his body was shutting down, masking the pain with a smile that fooled millions of viewers. This hidden struggle explains the shaky hands and the sweat that fans initially mistook for passion. The reality was much grimmer. A young man pushed to the absolute breaking point because he felt the financial weight of his family's survival rested entirely on those 3 minutes of television. Long before the bright lights of Hollywood, a dark night in the French Quarter nearly silenced his voice permanently in a way the public is only now learning about. While his backstory of sofa surfing is well known, the specific reason he fled his regular busking spot involves a violent altercation that left him traumatized. Sources close to the singer describe a near-fatal encounter where was targeted by local elements, an event that served as the catalyst for his desperate audition. He wasn't just looking for fame. He was looking for an escape from a cycle of street violence that had already claimed several of his peers. This history of survival has left him with deep-seated anxieties that have resurfaced under the pressure of 2026's demands. He carries the weight of those he left behind, and the guilt of his own survival seems to be a recurring theme in his private journals. The trauma of the streets hasn't vanished. It has simply evolved into a different kind of ghost. Behind the lyrics of his soulful ballads lies a history of dark days that is finally brave enough to address, but the details are more sensitive than fans expected. In a series of leaked segments from an upcoming documentary, discusses his history of being at the edge, using careful language to describe times he considered ending the cycle during his period of homelessness. He has become a quiet champion for those struggling with thoughts of self-harm, often visiting youth shelters without any camera crews present. His mission is fueled by the memory of sleeping in workplace bathrooms and the feeling of being invisible to the world. However, the 2026 pressure has brought these old demons back to the surface. He's navigating a thin line between being a public beacon of hope and a private individual who is still very much in the process of healing. His advocacy isn't just a PR move. It's a survival tactic for a man who knows exactly how cold the pavement feels at 3:00 a.m. The latest update from the clinic in Los Angeles has sent shockwaves through the industry, as faces a choice that no artist should ever have to make. We've learned that the doctors have issued a strict warning: continue the world tour and risk permanent vocal cord scarring, or step away now to save his health. This breaking heart moment is what has fans panicking across social media platforms. It's not just about a sore throat. It's a structural issue exacerbated by the stress of the last 2 years. The medical team has been blunt about the reality of his condition, suggesting that the third place curse isn't just a myth. It's the result of the brutal schedule required to stay relevant without a first place budget. Is caught between the need to provide for his sick grandfather and the physical reality that his instrument is failing. The fans are praying for a miracle, but the clinical data suggests a much longer, more difficult road to recovery. While the world assumes he is a multimillionaire, a look into the Blue Crew finances reveals a much more complicated and stressful economic reality for the star. The costs of private health care for his grandfather, combined with the legal fees of his early career entanglements, have drained much of his initial prize money. Investigative reports suggest that he has been taking on secret gigs and private corporate shows just to keep the lights on and the medical bills paid. This financial bleeding is a common story in the industry, but for a man with his background, the fear of returning to poverty is a constant driving force. He isn't buying mansions or sports cars. He is buying chemotherapy and specialized nursing care. The breaking heart of the fans comes from the realization that their idol is still, in many ways, living paycheck to paycheck, just on a much more expensive and high-stakes level than before. As we reach the midpoint of the year, the final verdict on his career is being written in a doctor's office rather than a recording studio. The latest reports indicate that he may be forced into an indefinite hiatus, a move that would effectively stall the momentum he fought so hard to build. This isn't a retirement, but a strategic retreat to handle the mounting family crises that have dominated his life. The doctors have been clear: his body cannot sustain the current level of cortisol and physical strain. Fans have noticed his absence from major award nominations, and now we know why. He has been prioritizing the bedside over the red carpet. This period of radio silence is actually a period of intense personal warfare. He is choosing his family over his fame, a decision that is as heartbreaking as it is honorable. The question remains: will the industry wait for him, or will the fickle nature of the spotlight move on to the next golden buzzer sensation? In the middle of this medical and professional storm is a young boy named, who is the real reason refuses to give up despite the mounting odds. Son has become the focal point of his life, and the singer has gone to extreme lengths to protect him from the accusations and rumors that often plague rising stars. We've seen reports of fighting for full custody and stability, ensuring that never has to experience the sofa surfing life that defined own youth. This fatherly devotion is the silver lining in the current tragedy, as it provides with a sense of purpose that goes beyond the Billboard charts. However, the stress of being a single father while managing a dying patriarch and a crumbling health status is a weight that would crush most people. The 2026 update isn't just about a singer. It's about a father trying to build a fortress for his son, while the walls around him are under constant medical and financial siege. As the sun sets on this chapter of Blue's life, the legacy he leaves behind is not one of perfection, but of an unbreakable spirit in the face of absolute ruin. Whether he returns to the stage tomorrow or disappears into a life of quiet caregiving, the impact he has made on mental health awareness and the reality of the homeless to hero arc is permanent. He has exposed the raw underbelly of reality TV fame, showing that behind every 90-second clip of brilliance is a human being struggling with very real, very painful life choices. The news of what the doctors told him has indeed broken hearts, but it has also galvanized a community to support him in ways that transcend music. Blue's story is a reminder that the most powerful songs are written in the darkest hours. As we wait for the next update, the world watches a man who has finally realized that his greatest performance isn't on a stage. It's in the quiet, sacrificial love he shows to his family.